Hey, also today I really wanted to talk about fame, fanatics, all of that sort of stuff, and sort of the unhealthiness of it. And it's been on my mind more so lately because of what happened last weekend with Brendan Urie, from Panic at the Disco, and him tweeting that he's no longer going to be signing booklets after the Broadway show that he's in, Kinky Boots, because of just, the craziness and chaos that happens once he exits the building. And this has always been a thing, like recently there was the thing that happened with Justin Bieber where he accidentally hit someone with a car and he was helping them, and all the reporters, all they wanted was just for him to, pose for the camera when someone was hurt. And, recently there was Tyler Joseph's address leaked, and all of it it goes on, the list of things of this sort of breach of privacy and treatment of famous people as they're not really people anymore. It's crazy to me how, once you reach a certain level of fame, you sort of see this transition of the way people treat a person, where they sort of no longer become people but are icons or objects. They are this sort of thing that transcends themselves. They are no longer this flawed human being, but they are this idea that people portray or put their own ideas on this person. And I consider myself big fans of certain people and groups, and like 21 Pilots, of course, but I could never really see myself crossing that boundary. And I mean, I know it's everyone always says it and it's very repetitive, but it's so important to remember that, celebrities, all of these people are people. They are flawed human beings, that they don't know everything. They don't, just because someone is really talented and gets recognition for it, or maybe they're not even talented, but they are getting a lot of recognition, it doesn't make them any more important than other people. It doesn't make them, wiser than other people or any of these things. But for some reason in our society right now, it does mean that. And I think one of the reasons is because of the internet and all of that stuff. And I can't imagine growing up with that sort of behavior and chaos as a normal thing. Because, kids now are growing up with the internet and they're seeing sort of this treatment of famous people, celebrities, all of these things as a normal thing. And, it's really coming to just a craze now. And it's really obvious to me, this sort of unhealthiness of a relationship between fanatics, not fans, fanatics, and famous people. The most obvious to me is with Jake Paul. He's been in, YouTube news and stuff a lot recently. But it's really obvious to me. So, first of all, you can see the way it's affecting Jake Paul himself, because, if you're constantly getting this validation and you're constantly getting, thousands of people just obsessed with you, you can't do anything wrong, all of these things, of course it's going to go to your head. And you can see the way his actions show his sort of thought process and his manipulation and all of these things. And so that's the way you can see fame has affected him. But then you also turn it around, and it's really unhealthy for all of these people that watch him, their treatment of him. It's just fuel to the fire. Each side is behaving unhealthily, because with the fans or fanatics of him, they're going to their house, they're freaking out, they're stalking, they're doing all of these things that are not normal behavior and that are really crossing boundaries and lines that shouldn't be crossed. And we put these people on this pedestal, and the problem with that is we are all flawed and make bad decisions, so eventually they're going to make a decision that's going to change the view of them, and they're going to fall off that pedestal. And I can't imagine being one of these kids or, people or whatever that have all this fame and just growing up with this constant, just adoration of yourself. It really changes your perception of yourself. And I can't imagine, making a bad decision, which I have made many bad decisions, and having it just all across the internet for everyone to know about, for everyone to see and judge. And, that's why I really try not to judge celebrities. I mean, I can have my opinions about them, and there are certain things where, I am judgmental, but I try not to be as judgmental as I can, because, I don't know what I would do in their situation. I don't know the choices I would have made. So I don't really have that right. And, I don't know how all of this fame and stuff is really affecting them. I just want you to really sort of stop and imagine yourself in their shoes. Imagine yourself on this other side, not being the fanatic, but being this person that is being bombarded by all of these people, all of these cameras, all of these things. Your privacy is a thing of the past. I can't imagine walking out of a building or something and constantly being just surrounded and trapped in this crowd and being treated like, not even like a person. It makes me think of when Tyler was at that festival and he crowd surfed, and just the crowd like ripping his clothes and stealing his shoes and stuff. And it's just, they were treating him like he wasn't a human being. And it's so hard for me to wrap my mind around that. And I think people just forget that these are real people, just like you. Like, you are a real person, you have real feelings, you have all of these things, and so does everyone else, no matter what their status is. It's so important to realize that and, apply it to your life. Like, of course, it's great being fans of people. Like, I'm fans of people. I can get super excited and, really, I can get obsessed sometimes, but there's a certain line that you can cross into this fanatic, being a fan versus a fanatic. And that is, a very important line to be aware of.